14 years after the original series ended, the powers that be at Fox decided that the X-Files had enough cultural capital to come back for a final season. Not surprising in this era of reboots and relaunches, but very exciting for X-Files fans like me, who really want to see Agent Mulder and Agent Scully chasing monsters and searching for ghosts and always just missing the truth that they're actually searching for. When the X-Files launched in 1993, it was a sleeper hit, and it slowly gained a cult following and more steam until its 5th season, which is arguably its biggest season. Fans of the X-Files will tell you that the real strength of this show came from the Monster of the Week type episodes. Episodes where Mulder and Scully are chasing something spooky through the nondescript Pacific Northwest. And the episodes that kind of stuck to the confusing and often contradictory mythology of the X-Files later in the show became some of the weakest episodes. X-Files on a whole has always been hit or miss. We had one good motion picture and one bad motion picture, and this new event series follows that trend perfectly. The 3 Monster of the Week episodes, Founder's Mutation, Home Again, and Mulder and Scully Meet the Were-Monster, rank with some of the best classic X-Files episodes. The studio was smart enough to bring back some of the biggest hitters from the original series in James Wong, Glenn and Darren Morgan as writers. These are the people who brought us great episodes like Humbug, Jose Chunks from Outer Space, and Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, which the 3 of them always top the list of fan-favorite episodes of the X-Files. These 3 episodes, and in particular, Mulder and Scully Meet the Were-Monster, is worth the price of admission alone. The beginning and ending episodes, written and directed by the series creator Chris Carter, they get into that tangled, twisted, navel-gazing mythology again, and it's really not worth your time. The bright spot of this whole series is, of course, the actors David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. They slip back almost effortlessly into these characters. David Duchovny especially hits the ground running. He is Fox Mulder again from the word go. And it's a real thrill for longtime fans like me to see these 2 iconic characters playing off each other once again. So you can get the X-Files, the event series, as a 2-disc Blu-ray set here at the library, and it looks great in HD.
Watchmen, which is a comic that was published in 1986 and 1987. It's by Alan Moore with art and color by Dave Gibbons and John Higgins. The premise of Watchmen is that it's an alternate American history, and it started in 1940 when a team of vigilantes emerged and called themselves the Watchmen. They were normal people in costumes that worked on their own and with the government and altered American history. And the comic itself is set in the 80s, and America is on the brink of a nuclear World War III with the Soviet Union. So these people, inspired by and literally born of, and a few from the original team, form a new Watchmen. But the problem is now vigilantes have been outlawed. So the public is not pleased with this. And it deals a lot with morality, and specifically the gray area of morality. Because these people, like the original Watchmen, with the exception of one, are just normal human beings in costumes with no authority. So the public has this cry of who watches the Watchmen, which really shows the idea that they don't have authority. They're just normal people. And to give a very vague spoiler, there's an instance in which one of the Watchmen kills a man who killed a young girl. And he had no authority to do this. So even though the person he killed was bad, he still committed a murder, technically. So it deals a lot with that humanity and that what's right and what's wrong and how that really can be relative. And it's great if you're a fan of superheroes because there's tons of action and fighting, or like me, if you're not totally into classic superheroes, but you really just like a human kind of emotion-driven story. And in 2009, they made it into a movie, which I thought was fantastic. I saw it 5 times in theaters because I'm crazy. And a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was amazing. It was very faithful, except for the aspect in which it wasn't. But the things that they had to change, and that's a spoiler, so that's why I said that weird. But the things that they had to change were good, and they made it work. And there's one thing that really fell by the wayside in the film, which is that in the comic book, there's a parallel story being told through a comic being read by one of the characters. So they made that into an animated feature, which was really incredible. It starred Gerard Butler as one of the voices, who was great. And you can get that, and the movie, and the comic book here at Monroe Free Library.
You should check them out.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.